think the days of loyalty as we know it are over. I think what people want in today's instant gratification Instagram world is they want choice, and they don't want to go back to the same place time after time after time. They want to be the first person to have been to Hubert's. They want to be, the latest person who's tried the new dish at Ormeggio. They want to be that person. So I don't know. I think about my own behaviour. My typical behaviour is that I have got somewhere in mind, and I know I want to go to Catalina on Saturday night because I'm on a date, or I want to be inspired. And that's the beauty of the world we live in now with Instagram, with Facebook, with sort of, aggregators, is we give choice. And in one place I can search, discover and find stuff. And I can use reviews and content and all that stuff to kind of just make my life easier. For a customer who's out there on the streets, the things that matter most to them is the menu. So if you look at, 60% of people who go to a website or go to one of these places, they just want to check out what's on the menu. The second thing is clearly around price. Am I within the same price point? Can I afford it? Is it $50? Is it $100? So they're two of the big things. And I think the third thing it's becoming more and more relevant today is just reviews. I can check out 1,000 reviews on TripAdvisor, and if Trip likes it, it's probably going to be good. So I think we use kind of reviews as a way to kind of de-risk a decision that we're making.
The dining industry is really important to us, and we look at what our card members are doing around the world, and about 40% of our UK, US, and Singapore customers are booking online, and that's Australia is a lot lower than that generally. So we really see that our partnership with Dimi is an opportunity to really encourage our card members to embrace using online bookings, especially given that Australian card members are so mobile savvy. We're tied to our phones, right? So that's really exciting for us. And we have cards linked to the Qantas program, or have our membership rewards program. And our card members are looking to maximize their points wherever they can. Some of our most savvy card members go the extra mile to figure out where they can really maximize that points potential.
I think the common theme is really about incentivising these people to keep coming back, rewarding them, and keeping them engaged. And so, whether that's through Qantas points, which we know, people love Qantas points, especially if they're looking to book their next holiday, or even, with a lot of restaurants, they have their own loyalty program. So even if it's like offering someone a glass of champagne for their birthday, or running a competition to win, dinner for two, I think it's really, really important to establish that relationship with your customers, and getting to know them and getting those insights into what they want, which really helps your business. In this very competitive space that we all work in, you need to incentivise people. You need to give them something. It's great to give them good content and so on, but it can't just be a hard sell. You've really got to give something back, and I think that sort of plays to the generosity of the hospitality industry, whether it's in the kitchen or on the floor, or whether it's through the booking process. I think people are looking for some additional incentive to get into their restaurant. So if you can offer Qantas points, that is a major incentive. We know that Qantas points, as you say, it's a major ecosystem in Australia. It is its own currency, and it really does drive behaviour.
In the Deliveroo case, predominantly we work with restaurants that don't do delivery. So what that means is when we go and speak to restaurants, we're speaking to restaurants and talking about a new category on the business that we'd like to talk to them about to get involved. That's something that for them, it's a new category. It takes a lot of sort of conversations about what that means, and what that means that we can bring on into the capacity of the kitchen and help service that. What we don't want to do is cannibalize the restaurant. We're not trying to take the customers away from the restaurant. In fact, we have campaigns that are going on currently to push customers back into restaurants, so sending our best customers back into restaurants and keeping that ecosystem going in a very strong way. If every day what you're doing is surprising, delighting that customer at the end of the meal or during the meal, we find that restaurants do that on deliveries. They add something special or something different into the box or the bag that's going out that the customer is not expecting at all. These are the type of things that go far, above and beyond, plus getting points from Qantas, plus getting points because I use Amex. I got 200 points for my $50 meal. But it's something like that really we need to take on, I think, across the board, whether you're in-house dining or dining at home, which makes a difference.
You can look at it from the customer point of view, which is obviously the most important thing, and say, well, what is the most convenient thing for them? What do they want? And I would say, you know, give them as many channels as you can, make it as convenient as possible and as quick as possible for them to book. You want the path of least resistance, don't you, from the customer to the restaurant. So if you can facilitate that in the easiest way possible.
Instagram in today's age is a non-consideration, right? It's a non-negotiable. If you don't have an Instagram account, it's like not having a website 10 years back. And I don't mean having an account and not engaging with it. I mean having an account and using it multiple times a day. There's so much choice and inspiration that happens on Instagram, and you've got to be a part of it. You've got to be a part of that fabric. So I think that's certainly one. And then you've kind of got the online, booking channels. You've got, sorry, not booking channels, but aggregators. So you've got, if you look at the Australian landscape, taking Dimi aside for a moment, but the biggest booking channels in Australia, in terms of where customers are searching and discovering, that's where I would focus my effort. So Zomato, so Dimi number 1, Zomato number 2, Qantas, TripAdvisor number 3, and then Qantas number 4. So they're the channels in Australia where consumers are making research and buying decisions. So if you're going to focus a couple of minutes a day or a few hours a week, that's where you want to be focusing, making sure you've got good images, good menus, good content.
Also, you can almost create your own PR by doing interesting things. So, make sure that your chef's got a profile. And, playing to the Instagram idea, restaurants have Instagram accounts, but also chefs should have Instagram accounts. And indeed, sommeliers in front of house too. That creates a bit of noise in the market. And then I think events too. I think events is a really, really important part of what all of us do today. The strongest currency, some would argue, in the world today is not actually things that people buy, but it's experiences. And certainly with younger people, and certainly with more affluent people, experiences are the most important thing that they want. And so if you can provide a money can't buy experience, a private cooking class, meet the chef, do a tour of a market, that kind of idea, it increases the engagement with your customers, and it also gives you the opportunity to engage with the media and get some PR. I think if you can think of anything that's quite unique that you can offer your customers, that's a great way to get some cut through.
I think it's really about understanding the channels and then speaking to the people who work for us to help you understand those channels as well, so you can maximise that.
It's funny, these channels are just that. They just take your restaurant and they propel it to the world. And if you run a crap restaurant and we put that restaurant in front of the world, nothing's going to happen. People are not going to book. People are not going to dine in your restaurant. If you run a great restaurant and it's great reviews and positive reviews, that's when the opportunity exists. So I'd say that all of these things we've absolutely talked about, do those, listen to them. But remember, the absolute fundamental of any marketing is, irrespective of channels, I've got to run a good business. I've got to make sure when my customers walk in through that door, they walk out with a smile on their face. And if you do that, Instagram's going to happen. Facebook's going to happen. Reviews on these channels are going to happen. And suddenly you become higher in the search results. Suddenly you get exposed in more email communication. So yes, there's a lot of marketing, there's a lot of channels, and all this stuff is great. I'd say the absolute fundamental thing is make sure when your customers walk in, they're walking out with a smile. If you do that, the organic stuff takes care of itself.